Back in the year 1880, a very powerful empire from Britain was trying to take over a rugged, beautiful country called Afghanistan, bringing one of the strongest armies in the entire world, carrying massive cannons and the newest, fastest rifles. But the Afghan people loved their freedom more than anything else in the world, and they refused to let another country rule over their homes, their farms, and their families, which led to a massive, thundering clash on a boiling hot summer day at a dusty, dry village named Maiwand. The sun was beating down, making the ground feel like a roasting oven, and the air was thick with dark smoke and the deafening boom of heavy artillery fire. The Afghan warriors fought fiercely to protect their land, but the huge weapons of the invading army were totally devastating. After many hours of dodging loud bullets and terrifying explosions, the local soldiers were entirely exhausted, incredibly thirsty, and deeply scared. They had lost many friends, and the overwhelming noise and destruction made them feel completely hopeless. Slowly, the brave defenders started to step back and began to retreat, running away from the front lines because they felt the battle was totally lost and they could not win. The absolute worst moment came when the brave soldier carrying the Afghan flag was struck down, causing the flag to tumble into the thick dirt. And in battles back then, a fallen flag meant complete defeat, signaling to everyone that the fight was over and hope was completely dead. But standing just outside the fierce fighting was a young teenage village girl named Malalai, who had not come to fight, but had come with the other women of her village to carry cool water to the thirsty men and to carefully wrap bandages on the wounded. She was just an ordinary girl, perhaps only a few years older than you, wearing traditional village clothes, but inside, her chest beat the heart of a completely fearless lion. When Malalai saw her people running away in fear and spotted that precious flag lying abandoned in the dirt, a powerful surge of determination filled her completely. She did not care about the terrifying bullets buzzing past her ears like angry bees, and she completely ignored the ground shaking beneath her feet from the loud cannon fire. Leaving the safety of the medical area, she sprinted straight into the absolute center of the chaotic, terrifying battlefield. Running past grown men who were fleeing for their lives, Malalai reached the fallen flag, scooped it up from the dusty ground, and hoisted it as high as her arms could possibly reach. With a voice that rang out like a clear, powerful bell cutting right through the noisy sounds of war, she shouted a famous short poem to her escaping people, crying out with all her might that if they did not give their lives protecting their homes today, they would carry the shame of cowardice forever. Her loud, piercing words acted like a sudden splash of freezing cold water on the tired soldiers. The fleeing men stopped dead in their tracks and turned around to see this young, unarmed girl standing tall and unafraid in the middle of a scary war zone, proudly holding their flag. They were absolutely shocked and completely amazed. Seeing her unbelievable bravery, a massive rush of hot energy, deep pride, and fresh courage exploded in the soldiers' hearts, and they suddenly realized that if a young village girl could be this brave, they had absolutely no excuse to run away. With thunderous, roaring shouts, the Afghan warriors turned their horses around and ran straight back into the fight, charging the enemy with 10 times more strength and fury than they had all day long. They fought with unbelievable might, and because Malalai gave them their courage back, they actually pushed the enormous, powerful army away and won the Battle of Maiwand. It was a historic, monumental victory for their freedom that nobody thought was possible. Tragically, right there in the final moments of the fierce fighting, Malalai was struck and lost her life on that very same dusty battlefield. She did not get to go home and celebrate the great victory, but her incredible selfless sacrifice saved her entire country that day. She proved to the whole world that true bravery does not come from having the biggest muscles or the loudest weapons. It comes from having a huge heart and the courage to step forward when everyone else is running backward. Today, her name lives on proudly in schools, hospitals, and the brave actions of young people everywhere, reminding us forever that one single courageous person can completely change the course of history.